Hey guys, real quick, I want to go over my Robinhood account. Come an update. Um, this is May 8th, 2020. I've obviously been investing a lot of money, as much as I can afford, to put in here over the last, let's see, 10 months or so. Um, and I think I'm a little bit up. Not much. Let's see. Well, it says I'm down $274, which is probably about right. Um, Then it says I'm up for it all time. Doesn't make a lot of sense because I haven't had my Robinhood account for a year yet, but looks like I'm up by the top of where the graph is. So I believe I am up. You can see my V there in my stock recovery. Um, so real quick here, today was obviously a good day. Probably the reason why I'm up. Um, you know, I got out a lot of the stocks I was in back in about February that were just not good stocks. I mean, there's trying to chase these extremely high dividends, and I got rid of out of most of them, but not all of them. A lot of those stocks actually dropped like 70%, 60%. You know, the PSEX, NRZs. Companies like that, and I still have some PSEC NRZ actually because it went down so low. I bought it back, knowing that it was probably going to bounce back. It has been. Real quick here, I have 200 shares of Pfizer. I have 100 shares of MO, which is Ulterior Group. I have 100 shares of Dow Chemical. I have 200 shares of AT&T. I have 100 shares of AIG Insurance Company. I have 100 shares of Maine, which is a REIT. I have 100 shares of BP. I have 100 shares of ABB, which is a power switching industrial switching, like for plants and manufacturing facilities company. It pays a pretty good dividend, 7%, and it's down from around $25 from its all-time high to where it's at right now, 18. I bought it for 17. See, it's a pretty decent stock. It doesn't say they're all buy ratings on it. I like the dividend, obviously, and it pays its dividend quite regularly, which I enjoy. EPD, which is an energy company. I still own too many energy stocks, even though I have less percentage now than I have before. Obviously, it's highly rated, high buy sign on that. 10% dividend, 10.5. It says on Robinhood. It might be. Sometimes that dividend is from its last quarter, and so it's not updated to what they announced. But I know I have a $44 dividend pending on that for the quarter, so that dividend sounds about right. Xerox, 700 shares. Viacom, 190 shares. Shouldn't be 200 shares. That's CBS Viacom. That stock's down to about half of what it was 3 months ago, and the reason why is because CBS lost a lot of sports coverage over the last few months with the NCAA tournament, and they're worried about NFL football, golf, the Masters on CBS. So it went down to $10. I wish I would have bought a lot of it there. I did buy. Average price is $16.52. I just bought some shares today, actually. Probably bumped up my average cost. Pays a 6.5% dividend. I believe this stock is going to recover once NFL comes back, and CBS Viacom, and CBS has its own platform for viewing online, so kind of like its own little Netflix. Ally Bank, I own 100 shares. ET, I own way too much ET, way too much, but it is paying its dividend. I have a $360 dividend pending, $360 dividend on that. I think that stock's going to go back up to around $10 in the last couple of months. Probably going to rotate out of it and probably get down to 1,000 shares. What I'd like to do when it gets up to around the $10 mark, and roll it over to some other stock. But I'm not buying any energy stocks right now. I'm really trying to stay away from them, even though the dividends are high and they're down, and energy's really bounced. Um, NRZ, which is a REIT, I believe, and actually it's a mortgage company because they hold my mortgage to my home. And so I didn't know that the other day. I just put two and two together, and I looked at my mortgage statement because it's a company I've only had a few years because I sold the loan from Bank of America to New Res, and so yeah, it's a mortgage company, and it went down to around four. It was about 15, so I believe it went down to around $4, and I bought 100 shares, and is paying its dividend. PSEC is paying its 6 cents a share dividend monthly. I have some pending, so that's all I know. So it is still paying its dividend, and it is climbing back up. I probably would not buy more PSEC right now, but I am going to probably hold what I have. And now after these are my REITs. Not my REITs. These are my ETFs after that. AMLP, which is an energy REIT. You have MLP, Master Limited Partner, which is mostly, I'm not a REIT, an ETF. Mostly it is, I believe it is like pipeline companies is what that is. And I own 200 shares of that. It was down around $3. It pays a really good dividend. And obviously with the ETF, you're going to get your dividends, just a matter of how much. The rest of them are, I don't have a lot of shares in these yet. I'm looking to add shares. These are definitely on my list here to add additional shares of my ETFs. And a lot of these you can't sell covered calls on, and so that's my plan. That's why I'm getting positions of stock. And right now it looks like I have ways to go. ARCC, which is a capital company, and I'm going to buy some of this next week. So that's my number one thing I'm going to do. And pays a 12% dividend according to Robinhood. Might be an old number. You can tell the buy rating's super high. Just had its earnings, and it just fell short of earnings by 2 cents. It was just the other day. It was up today, obviously, and yeah, that's probably something. And it does. You can't sell cover calls on it, so, and good ones. And Hercules, I do own 100 shares in my Charles Schwab account. SPHD, I own 100 shares in my Charles Schwab account. DIV and RLD are both ETFs I'm looking to add to my ETF list and probably fill them out. DIV, I know I cannot sell covered calls on, but SDIV, I believe I can. So that's why I purchased it. UGI I own in my Charles Schwab, MET MetLife, and my Charles Schwab. Louisiana Pacific, I own 100 shares of my Charles Schwab. GM, 100 shares of my Charles Schwab. Exxon, 100 shares of my Charles Schwab. PPL, PBA are both in my Charles Schwab. I own 100 shares of each. Abiva, I just own a few shares. I wish I owned 100 shares. I think that's some of these are some of the ones I was looking at that I haven't found the money to buy. And there's a few energy stocks in here that I probably will not be buying. Southern is probably on my list. I definitely am not buying another REIT, so I'm taking out Realty Income for the O, which is down. Which, if you want a REIT, that would be a good deal right now for you. You got and you can sell. It sells actually really well. The covered calls on the O, so it's pretty good. So you can get extra income off a covered call on that. So real quick, these are just my stocks I own. I rotated, thank goodness, to better stocks. I'm trying to rotate ETFs. These are all pretty high dividend ETFs. This one's pretty interesting. This is a Global X Fund, Global X NASDAQ 100 covered calls. NASDAQ is 100 is going up quickly, and going up on bad days, going up on good days, going up every day. And the NASDAQ 100 is very frustrating to me because I basically shorted the NASDAQ way back in December. I thought I was going to get out. It was an ETF. I shorted it, and I thought I was going to make a lot of money on it. But the problem is the NASDAQ, it did drop, spiked, and the premium on the selling the option back was double what the cost of selling the option was worth, and so I didn't sell it. And then the NASDAQ 100 just climbed. Finally, I just got out just the other day, and I just said, hey, I'm going to get out of this. I was in the SQQQ, is what that great, wonderful ETF was I was in, and I shorted it, and I couldn't get out, and I just finally took the hit. And I bought a good stock with the money, and that was down, and hopefully I'm going to make it up on that side of it. But this is what this is a covered call. You can't sell an option on it. It's a covered call ETF. So they sell covered calls on the NASDAQ Top 100 as well as the dividends. It pays around 10 to 11%, and it's really an interesting ETF. And I was trying to see if I could sell a covered call on my covered call ETF, but you cannot. It does not trade, which I thought would have been really cool. So, but yeah, right now I just have a share of this. I'm gonna probably buy some more, but I don't necessarily need to have 100 of them because I can't sell a covered call on this stock, so I don't need a position. But so real quick, let's go over them real fast. Pfizer, Ulterior Group, Dow, AT&T, AIG Insurance, Main Street Capital, BP, ABB, EPD, Energy Product Development, Enterprise Products Development. That's what EPD stands for. It pays a really good dividend, and it does sell really good cover calls. Xerox, Viacom, CBS, that's a buy for me. Alice Bank, ET, Energy Transfer would be a buy for me right now. NRZ, it's only paying about 3% dividend, so I don't know about you. PSEC is paying at 6 cents a share, so it's about 12%. If you're looking to add a cheaper rate, it's not, and you could. I have sold covered calls on PSEC, but it's not easy. AMLP, again, those are just my ETFs. SDIV, that's a REIT, RSRET. There you go. And so that's just what I got right now, and so hopefully add more next week. And probably I'm not going to sell very many covered calls. Real quick, really trying to sell covered calls right now on your stocks. This is not a good time. Stocks are going up, man. They're climbing fast. Like I sold the covered call on AIG, $25. It went up. I had to roll my covered call. It went up. Today it went up $2. So I'm trying to recover my stock there and probably roll out of it and try to roll into another covered call for next week. Again, let your premium expire before you have to sell a rollout. Because right now, if I did it right now, I would pay for premium for 2 weeks. If I did it on Friday, I'd only have to pay for premium, mostly premium for the 1 week. So there's premium on top of the value, and so just let that premium expire, and then you can sell your covered call the last day if you're rolling over, and for the week, which I am. And next time I'm on, I'll show you how to do a rollover on Robinhood. I wish I would have done this 6 months ago. I'd have more money right now. But it's super simple to roll over your options, and it's the easiest platform I've ever seen. Okay, thanks guys.